Alright, this is episode 41 of LEGO Marvel Avengers, and we're going to start things off here on the SHIELD Helicarrier. And I'm going to change characters to one of my created characters. I created this guy off screen. He is called Iron Buldog, mostly for his color alignment. I could not get the full name, or the full word Bulldog to fit in the screen, so it only has one L. But as you can see, his head is Quicksilver's head. But he has the Iron Legion's chest. And he has Mjolnir, so he can fly around like Thor. So basically, you know, he can do a lot of stuff. But none of it's actually Iron Man suit stuff. And that brings us to what we're going to be looking for today. We're going to be trying to unlock all the Iron Man suits required for the House Party Protocol achievement. And then we will show off all those suits and show the little differences between them. This is a thing that can be kind of useful for you just coming out of the story mode, because when you enter free play mode, if you don't have any of the DLC, then you don't have access yet to all the characters that you need to do all the free play missions. So, for instance, you're going to need a digging character, and there's an Iron Man suit that can do that. So, we've flown to Malibu here. We're at the Stark Mansion. And this is where 3 of the Iron Man suits can be located. Now, I did this in the order that I ran across them. And unfortunately, I didn't realize that the third one was here. So we're only going to get 2 here, and we're going to come back later. So we need to repair that. Spider-Man, not a repair guy, even though he is a tech guy. Or, meaning a computer guy. So it looks like we're going to be relying on Tony Stark. And then, for some reason, I was having trouble getting my created character to do the Thor thing. So I just went ahead and switched to Thor for the sake of time, maybe figure out what was going on later on, but just give us access to the garage and get things moving around here. Alright, so that opens up one door of the garage, but we need to get into the other door. And so what happens is if we just move a little bit to our left here, we'll find a little Avengers beacon or whatever. So we use our little personal assistant here, get some studs, and we'll figure out what this item is that we're looking for over here. Now, when you're in free play like we are now, there are characters who can bypass that sensor part. Iron Man suits can do that, but also Spider-Man can use his spider sense to bypass any of the sensor portions. So you're going to see us doing that a lot just for the sake of saving time. Granted, we do miss out on some studs if we do it that way. So Black Widow's gets us a gold brick, which is nice, and opens up the garage, which is what we were trying to do. Now we're headed down the stairs.
You know what,
and here is the garage.
Really intuitive, darling.
And we're going to pull down on this lever here, and it's going to display an Iron Man sequence. Now what you need to do is you need to... There were 4 colors shown. You need to show those colors in the proper order in which they appeared. So that's black, red, gold, and white. So it's black, red, gold, and white. And that gives us access to an Iron Man suit here in this little box. And that is the Iron Man Mark V suit. the Iron Man Mark V suit from Iron Man 2, famous as the suitcase suit, which is probably why we can find it in the garage, since it was carried around in a car in Iron Man 2. Alright, now we're going to go inside the Stark Mansion to find another suit by breaking these things over here to reveal a vent. And of course, the only way to go through these vents is with a character who can alter his form. And the only character we've got like that right now that we unlock is Vision. For the most part, you'll note that I'm going to keep most of the characters, even when they're unlocked, in the dark, so it's just easier to move around through the character select screen without trying to figure out who everybody is. Alright, so here we are in here, and here's another lever for us to pull down, and that will open up this box right here. And that box will give us some studs, but it'll also give us the Mark 17 Heartbreaker armor. Which came, or was mentioned in the Iron Man 3 movie. And we're going to leave Justin Hammer alone, and we're going to head to somewhere else looking for armor. In this case, we're going to go into a level in free play. And that level is No Strings on Me. We're going to go to the B part. Now, free play separates the levels into there's 3 sections. So we're actually able to go right to the segment of the level we want, as opposed to having to play through the entire level to get to the unlock point. So the unlock point we want here is in the second part of this level. And so we're going to use our 2 characters. We're going to ignore the requirements of the story, and we're going to use the created character of me holding Loki's scepter and the Iron Man Mark something. I think it's probably the Mark 45. To go and put out the flames around another Iron Man suit character token. And you can see him right there. We just need to maneuver our icebox. Okay, I have to smack a couple people around with Loki's staff. And then he kills me. Fortunately, we are not here for studs. And this Iron Legion guy killed me again. So again, I'm not a superhero, I'm just a guy who was handed Loki's staff. And so I'm trying to get it over to the fire, and finally I get that. So now it's just a matter of breaking the rubble and then grabbing that suit. Now I also, earlier off screen, as you would notice from my created character who uses the Iron Legion's torso, I also went back and unlocked the Iron Legion character from this area. Now, the Iron Legion character is not necessary for the Iron Man achievement House Party Protocol, where you use all the Iron Man suits in one sitting. Neither is... Okay. Other Iron Man suits that you don't need, that you have, that are around, that don't contribute to the House Party Protocol achievement, include Pepper Potts in the Mark 42. You don't need that. Pepper Potts' rescue suit You don't need to worry about that. War Machine and Iron Patriot don't need to be activated during that session. So now we've unlocked the Iron Man Mark 16 suit. And now we're back to the helicarrier. And as you can see, I've managed to get my created character here, the Iron Buldog, to get his hammer charged. I still don't know what was going on that was preventing him from charging it. I think it had to do with the fact that, again, lots of different things were being mapped to that B button. But you can see him moving with Quicksilver speed. And also having Thor's hammer. So we're now going to visit the helicarrier to unlock another suit. Just to finish up my Iron Man suits that you don't need to worry about in order to unlock the achievement. The Mark 38 Igor suit you don't need to worry about, and the DLC suits, the Mark 37 scuba suit and the Mark 39 space suit, you don't need to worry about those either. But next thing we need to do is accept a mission here from this scientist, as she explains way too much verbiage to us. And I switched to Spider-Man for this because we're going to be dealing with technology, and I immediately discovered that, oh yeah, we need somebody to power up the electric switch. So we've got our guy, and he's just as capable of using the hammer to do that as Thor would have been. Now, the only problem I have with created characters like the Iron Buldog in using them in free play is that the few times the game does crash, it seems like there is a created character involved. So now we're going to use this little puzzle to match up the pieces on our I don't even know what we're making here. I mean, a robot, maybe? I mean, we're supposedly doing something involving the cradle for Dr. Cho, although Dr. Cho is not here in the room. There you go. Spider-Man has got this computer thing figured out. And everything looks good there in the cradle.
It seems to have worked. The cradle is back online.
And you can see that my created character has Thor's idle animation, which is the one where he tries to pick up the hammer and temporarily fails and then gets really upset about it before picking it up again and being like, oh, I was being so silly. All right. This little thing up in the helicarrier lab allowed us to unlock the Mark 25 suit, which is the dig suit for Iron Man, and the only one that you needed to unlock if you didn't have a dig character already going into free play. Now, because we had the DLC, we had access to the Black Panther, so we already had a dig character. Now we're going to go down to street level, and when I was doing this, I wasn't certain that I needed the Mark 38 Igor, and that's a suit that you get from doing a Peggy Carter mission. And so there are a couple Peggy Carter missions in here that ultimately didn't mean anything for us, but this is where you can see them. So here's where I did them. So we're following Peggy Carter around with classic Captain America here. I tried to make sure that Captain America was always around for these Peggy Carter missions when they showed up. But actually it's kind of depressing because she'll refer to Captain America even though you're clearly right there. Alright, so Spider-Man detects some stuff. So we're going to have to build some stuff. And that little music box there is going to make all the people in front of the coffee shop go away. So now we have access to the door. And we can fix the door with, I believe that's a repair issue. We can repair the door, not with Jennifer Kale, with an Iron Man suit, and this is the first one that I got to, so we'll have Iron Man repair it in his scuba suit. And so now Peggy Carter gets to have her coffee, but unfortunately it doesn't really have anything to do with Captain America. Then she makes a joke about having to pay 10 cents for a cup of coffee. Or hashtag 1940s problems. So we unlock Squirrel Girl, who is not someone we're necessarily trying to unlock. Now we're going to go fly off and try to find another Iron Man suit. Alright, so now we're going around the Avengers facility down in Inwood at the edge of the map. And we still have Scuba Iron Man here. Unfortunately, Scuba Iron Man doesn't really do anything interesting in the water as far as I can tell. And so we're going to switch from Scuba Iron Man to Ultron Mark 1. Because we need to, there's some, I guess, cosmic spaces. I mean, they're called cosmic bricks in the last game. I forget what they're called here. But then he can just jump down and grab the superior Iron Man suit. So that now we've got that one. And now we can go looking for another suit. Alright, so now we're running around after this this villainous truck here. And while I was going after these suits, I was also trying to fulfill the achievement where you stop 10 crimes in one sitting. But we ran into Phil Coulson here with his car. Now this was not a mistake. We were actually trying to do this, and we knew he would be here. This is the first Phil Coulson car mission, and we're going to do it as, not as Captain America, but as your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
The exciting task of driving out to the desert to pick up some sort of otherworldly wrench, I think. I haven't finished reading the case file yet. Anyway,
and so this mission is references a Marvel short that supposedly happened to Coulson on the way to New Mexico. We got Spider-Man driving Lola and Coulson riding in the back. There is an achievement for driving Lola as Coulson. And you can either do that by unlocking Lola through one of the races on this hub level, but you can also switch your character to be Coulson on a mission like this and just jump into Lola, and you'll activate the achievement that way too. If you're trying to save studs, but still want the achievement early on or something of that nature. So we're driving Lola now into the gas station, and then we get jumped by these Hydra gunman types. And so now it's just a matter of taking them all out. And so I've got Spider-Man doing his Spider-Man thing. This is, of course, Spider-Man's outfit from the Captain America Civil War movie. So he doesn't have the ability to turn into Peter Parker. And if you're wondering why he doesn't have the ability to turn into Peter Parker, I imagine it's because we still haven't seen a proper Spider-Man movie yet. And so they don't really know what Peter Parker is ultimately going to look like. So they didn't want to spoil anything, even if it is just a Lego figure. Alright, so we killed all 20 of those guys.
You know, this seems to happen every time I stop for gas. I'm starting to think it'd be easier to just catch a flight. Sorry.
Coulson makes another reference to
This will make up for the trouble.
a funny thing happened on the way to Thor's hammer.
Donuts for the trip. This might take a while.
And that gives us access to the Iron Man Mark 40. We're doing more idle animation stuff. We can't jump into Lola anymore, so you can't drive off with her. Coulson will stick around here, but as soon as you leave the area, he will move on to his next mission spot, which is over here. Now, this is a little bit later, and because I messed this mission up a couple times, I wanted to get it right. So instead of bringing Spider-Man or my created character, I needed someone who could fly and someone who could attack enemies pretty well in the air. And so that led me to bring War Machine, Colonel Rhodes, into the equation. So you're wondering, okay, well, why did you want to bring Colonel Rhodes? I mean, why does it matter? Any flying character could have done this. I mean, granted, I didn't know Lola was a flying car until this mission started. But what's the big deal? Well, the big deal, as we cross over the East Village and begin heading toward some skyscrapers, is these guys. These little Ultron clones. You know, you thought that the Ultron sentries would be disassembled or destroyed after we defeated Ultron in the story. But oh no, they're still around and hanging out in several situations. So I'm just using War Machine's gun to just bat them away. It takes about 3 hits, but if you take the time to aim a missile at them each time, they'll get more hits in on Lola. And Lola does have a limited number of hits that she can take before you'll have to start the mission all over again. And again, I don't really recommend you doing that. I don't recommend anybody doing that. Alright, so we're headed over toward the Marvel Comics building. And Coulson decides that this spot isn't quite what he's looking for either. So we're going to head down toward Times Square. And by down, I do mean down. And we're going to find another Ultron guy. And there's it. You know, there's another Ultron guy. You can see debris falling off of Lola, so I mean they are having an effect. If you look at Lola, she will look damaged after a while. I was kind of hoping we were done dealing with those guys. Evidently we aren't. Go away. So here we are now in Soho, and Coulson finally finds a spot that he likes. There are no more Ultron guys that show up at this point, so It's just a matter of collecting our second character, the space version of Captain America, and turning him into one of the Hulk characters in order to activate the selfie. Regardless of which Hulk you use to activate the selfie, it will be the Green Hulk in the picture. So went ahead and just used the Green Hulk anyway, line him up with the selfie thing. He'll pick up the character involved, take a selfie,
Yep, that one's going on the cover.
and now Agent Coulson is really excited
Of her favorite pizza joints, if I remember.
and makes a joke about Maria Hill's calendar, which probably a little bit more PG-13 rated if you take the time to think about it. Alright, so we've got the Iron Man Mark 33 suit now. So you would think that we would have all the Iron Man suits. Well, there's one suit that we forgot, and I'm going to figure it out here. So we're back at the SHIELD helicarrier. Right now we're Colonel Rhodes. Our wingman is Tony Stark on the right there. Now to unlock characters, you need to buy them. Now you can do this off of the main character select screen. If you just press Y when you're in free mode, free play mode, you can buy them there. I went ahead and accessed them through this portal here, just so you can see that you can also do it through here. So we're going to go over to the Iron Man characters. We're just going to start cycling through and buying all of them. Yeah, so there's the Silver Centurion, and now we have all of the Iron Man suits except for one. I was like, wait a minute, what am I missing? Because I knew the Iron Man Mark IV wasn't in here. What I'm missing, of course, is the Iron Man Mark I suit. And so we're flying back to Malibu here, and we've got to go down into Tony's garage. Well, actually not his garage. Tony's garage is a separate room from his basement lab space, which actually makes sense if you think about the Iron Man movies. But it did kind of confuse me because I thought I'd already done everything that was quote unquote downstairs in Tony's house. So to get the Iron Man Mark I, we have to use Vision's psychic powers to break that box. And then we need to build another lever over here, push it down, and there we go. So now we've successfully got all the Iron Man suit tokens. Now the achievement, House Party Protocol, is we bounce back to Manhattan here. And we run into another Peggy Carter mission, so we go ahead and do this. Now, again, I'm doing this because I'm still not sure if the Iron Man Mark 38 is something that I need to complete the achievement. And I know that that's off of a Peggy Carter mission, one that starts over by the Roxxon Oil Corporation. There was the Vision's idle animation, just in case you're curious. And again, because this is a Peggy Carter mission, I'm going to try to turn into Steve Rogers here. This time without a helmet. Maybe she'll recognize me this time. So basically we need to fight all these guys, and then when we're done fighting these guys, of course one of those guys was Tony Stark, who is really out of place in 1940s America. But it's funny, the lines that the characters will use, even when you're in Peggy Carter's world and the cars have all changed, you'll still get more contemporary lines referring to events from other movies or things like that. All right, so we're still escorting Agent Carter to wherever she's going. And okay, now we found another batch of baddies to deal with. And she's off again. Yeah, for instance, Sokovia. We're a little early for Sokovia, I'm thinking. Then she comments on the outfit, even though this is a Captain America suit. And you would think she would know Captain America suits. So that gives us a hero named Finesse, with whom I'm not familiar. And won't get familiar by the time this playthrough is over, so let's not worry about that. And now we're taking over things as Tony Stark. And we're going to begin our Iron Man suit run right here. Okay, so the objective here is to wear each Iron Man suit. And what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to stop a crime with each one of these suits. So here's the Iron Man Mark I suit. You can see that I get the repulsor fire of all the other Iron Man suits. I don't get the... Okay, we successfully stopped that bag thief. I get the repulsor fire like the other Iron Man suits. I also get the flamethrowers from the first Iron Man movie. And here is the Iron Man Mark V suit. And we're going to, like I said, we're looking for criminals to run down. Now, the Iron Man Mark V suit is a throwback to Lego Marvel superheroes in the sense that you get the repulsors like you did in that game. And you also get the firing chest thing. The Iron Man Mark V does not have a gold cutting laser. Just so you don't feel spoiled by any of the suit change animations, we went back and decided to show off the Iron Man Mark I. So where basically Stan Lee comes in and turns you on. So here's the flamethrower effect from the first Iron Man suit. He can still fire the missiles. He cannot fly. So those are his capabilities. All right, so we're going to change back into the Mark V. Again, you can see him press down into the suitcase, and it turns into the suit. And the Mark V, you know, we still have the missile capabilities. Now we have the center, the charge center pulse fire thing that I don't really know what the proper term for it is. And then we're going to change suits again from the Mark V into the Iron Man Mark VI. And here you get the wheel. And of course the Iron Man Mark VI is the first Iron Man suit from the Avengers movie. It's also the last Iron Man suit from Iron Man 2, developed when Tony was able to distill the elements that his father had discovered years ago to power his new suit, and presumably all the suits thereafter. Although part of the reason for finding that element was because, you know, unlike palladium, it wasn't going to kill him to have it inside his body. Right, so we found a truck. And again, this is the first Iron Man suit in this game that has the gold cutting laser. Of course, like all the other Iron Man suits, it can fly. He can shoot missiles. See, just like that. Gold, the red laser used on gold objects. Yeah, and the Mark 6 suit is one of my favorites. And then here is the Mark 7 suit. This is the second suit that Tony would wear in the Avengers, the one that he would wear throughout the battle in New York. I was kind of disappointed by its animation, because this is the suit that, tracks Tony's wrists and then gets on and uses that to adjust to Tony's position. So as we hunt down crime here, again, this is another Iron Man suit that has the gold cutting laser repulsors, and like the other Iron Man suits minus the first one, it can do that, which is if you hold down the fly button, he'll blast off into midair. So here we go, flying around the rooftops of New York. Up, and lo and behold, there's a car being stolen, or a truck doing some crazy stuff. And again, no one seems to care that, oh, yeah, we destroyed a school bus that time. Yeah, no one seems to care that we destroyed this truck, and evidently no one seems to care that we destroyed that school bus. This is definitely not Civil War Tony. Alright, and so now we're moving into the suits we just unlocked. And the first one that we're going to be looking at here is the Mark 16 suit. And as you can tell from the animation, it is a stealth suit, which means that if you have access to this suit, you don't, you have an alternative to using the Black Widow as a stealth character. In fact, Tony's got a lot of abilities that he can access through his suits. So yeah, you can see us being stealthy here. You saw earlier that just like the Mark V, the Mark 16 suit has the center, or has the center pulse shot instead of a cutting laser. And it can do, again, all the things that you would expect an Iron Man suit to do, but it can do them in stealth mode. Moving away from the Iron Man Mark 16, we go into the Iron Man Mark 17, which uses the same animations as some of the other suits. And this is the Heartbreaker armor. Now, the Heartbreaker armor in LEGO Marvel Superheroes, a little misrepresented because it didn't have the big chest-shooting laser that the Heartbreaker armor is known for. And the whole reason it's called the Heartbreaker. Here you can see that the laser the suit shoots does indeed come from the chest. So here this is an accurate representation of the Mark 17 Heartbreaker armor. A better better representation than LEGO Marvel Superheroes' version. Now, the Mark 16 and Mark 17 suits were both in the Iron Man 3 movie. It would not have been obvious that the Mark 16 suit's specialty was stealth. It just sort of showed up with the other suits. But if you pay attention, you can find it in the final battle with Aldrich Killian and his goons. The Mark 17 is much easier to find because Tony addresses it by name a couple times during the fight, and I believe it's the suit that temporarily takes Colonel Rhodes to higher ground. Of course, Colonel Rhodes can't use any of Tony's suits in that battle because they're not coded to him. So we've stopped another bag thief, and that means it's time for another suit. So we're going to move down from the Mark 17 to the Mark 25. The Mark 25 is another suit that showed up in the Iron Man 3 final fight, and a much more sort of obvious suit, although I think it got mobbed by... it's kind of hard to miss with those big jackhammer hands. I'm pretty sure that Tony got mobbed by... the Mark 25 got mobbed by extremist soldiers almost immediately upon showing up. But yeah, its special capability is that it can dig. So you don't need Black Panther, you don't need Squirrel Girl, or another character who can dig. You can just use the Mark 25 suit if you so choose. The Mark 25 suit can fire missiles. It does not have a laser function. I take it back. Maybe it does. I don't remember, and I'm pretty sure in this fight I don't do anything other than the melee combo, which shows off a laser. I'll have to leave you to figure out whether or not the Mark 25 has a laser capability or not. As we move on to the Mark 33. Now, as of this recording, so when I took this footage, which was a while ago, I really wasn't sure what was so special about the Mark 33. It was a bigger suit. And again, this is another suit that was in Iron Man 3. And Tony actually wore this one for a little while until he ran into Killian or some other extremist soldier. But it's got the laser, it's got the missiles. So if you're wondering, okay, well, what's so special about the Silver Centurion suit? Well, what's so special about it, and I don't demonstrate it here, but we'll see it later on in other free play levels. The Silver Centurion can break objects that big figures and hammer wielders can break. Okay, so whenever you see those big cracks in walls and things, the Silver Centurion can actually break through those. Now, he can't pull on the green handles like the Hulk or another big figure could, but he can break walls that ordinarily you would associate with big figures. And he can also break criminals who try to do their crime on the top of apartment buildings. The Silver Centurion's colors were the basis for the colors of the Mark V. In fact, the makers of Iron Man 2 really wanted to use the Silver Centurion suit in that movie, but I guess we're told it was too early. And this brings us to the next suit, which is the Mark 40. The Mark 40 is the speed Iron Man suit, so it turns Tony Stark into a speed character. He's still got the gold-cutting missile, he's still got the other things, and he can fly. But he can now do things you would associate with speed characters. The Mark 40 suit, with its particular face mask, I guess it was an aerodynamic change to the face mask, is another thing that appeared in Iron Man 3. Alright, so just a few suits left, thank goodness. Right, so we're looking for criminal activity. There's a guy over here who almost always is getting mugged. So we rescue him with the suit. And we didn't use the suit's speed attack function. And hey, we unlocked the achievement for dealing with 10 crimes in one sitting, which kind of tells you how long this little bit of playing lasted for me. All right, now we're bringing in the next and what I would call the modern line of Iron Man suits. Because all these suits, well, I say that, we accidentally went into the Mark 43. What I wanted to go into was the Mark 42. Of course, this is the famous prehensile suit from Iron Man 3. Personally, I like the Mark 42, as I mentioned in the LEGO Marvel Superheroes playthrough, because there's a lot more gold in the suit design, therefore there's more color to the suit. And you've still got the missiles, you've still got the lasers, but now you can see I've summoned 2 Iron Legion drones, so I can call reinforcements. If you're wondering why the Mark 42 suit can call reinforcements when, you know, that feature really didn't show up until the Age of Ultron movie, I think it's largely to match the, Tony calling the House Party Protocol at the end of the Iron Man 3 movie. So there's our Iron Legion buddies. And got a purse robber who's trying to get away from us. We're trying to gun her down. And we successfully did it with our laser. Our nice, friendly, non-lethal laser. We are picking up some extra studs here. But we're going to move back to the Iron Man Mark 43, which we briefly moved into by mistake earlier. Again, you've seen the Mark 43. This is the early Age of Ultron suit. We got it so early, in fact, that we could actually activate it during the story part of the playthrough in the Avengers storyline, just because of the way the game works. But this is supposedly this is the improvement of the Mark 42. It can do all the things the Mark 42 could do. There's not a lot different between the two suits other than aesthetics. And then the next suit on the numerical roster is the Mark 44 Hulkbuster. Now, you saw us play the Hulkbuster level, so I don't necessarily feel a need to go full rundown on the Hulkbuster armor, but it can still do the explosion thing, and unlike the Hulkbuster armor from LEGO Marvel Superheroes, the Hulkbuster can fly in free play. So that's kind of impressive as we go fly over the Sanctum Sanctorum, and then of course you saw the PIM Labs building back there. And so now we're going to switch into the Mark 45, which is the most advanced Marvel Cinematic Universe suit that we have access to here. You do have access to the Mark 46 if you have the Civil War DLC, but that's PlayStation 4 only at this point. and at the time of this recording, so I don't know if or if ever I'll be able to get access to that. But like the Mark 42, like the Mark 43, you have access to reinforcements.
I know you heroes are normally just flying across the sky without a care in the world, but if you've got a moment, there are some criminals close by, so little help.
As well as all the laser stuff and other stuff. I guess if you were trying to be efficient and you wanted an Iron Man suit that did everything the reinforcement suits did, you would just always choose the Mark 45 armor. There is one more Iron Man suit you have access to, and this is the Superior Iron Man suit. I don't know much about this suit. I do know that in the comic book storyline that the Superior Iron Man suit comes from, that Tony was kind of a not so nice person, and basically, dealing drugs, very high-tech drugs, but drugs. So I don't have any real attachment to the Superior Iron Man suit. It's just an Iron Man suit, but it can't call for reinforcements like the Mark 42, Mark 43, or Mark 45. So that's all the Iron Man suits, with the exception of the ones that aren't required for the achievement. And again, that's the space suit, the scuba suit, which are DLC, Igor, which can be unlocked by another mission, the 2 Pepper suits, the 2 Rhodey suits, and the Iron Legion.
On the plus side, I can cancel that chiropractor appointment.
And so with that really long adventure into all things Iron Man, I will leave you.